The lighting, oh god, I always cut my fucking head off. The lighting in this second video is gonna be fucking trash and confusing. It's gonna go from bright to dark, bright to dark, bright to dark. There's a storm, so bear with me, folks. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I had asked him, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And he said, I see myself being a millionaire with you, raising a family, raising Marcellus. And he was so serious about it. And I was like, okay, well, I support you. So if like you ever need anything, especially in building your brand, like let me know. So I would tell him how to do his TikTok, okay? Because he is very attractive. He has all the potential of blowing up. Mind you, when we first started talking, he only had 33,000 followers. He's not now at like 140. I give myself credit for him growing like that. I'm sorry, I do. Like, he would go on live and people would be in that bitch waiting for me to show up, okay? Waiting for me to show up. Where's Gabby? Where's Gabby? Where's Gabby? And I think his ego fed off that, and he liked that, okay? Never did I think he was using me for following till now. In February, at the end of February, he had opened up to me about not having any money. And originally when we started this relationship, he was like, I want to fly in once a month, and when Marcellus is in summer, like when it's summer break, you start flying to me and let's make a list of vacations in which we want to go. So I was like, well, the first vacation I want to take is for my birthday. I've always wanted to have a birthday trip. My birthday has always been a very hard time for me since I was little, which I explained to him. So I was like, I really want to go away for my birthday. So he had opened up to me in February, at the very end of February, basically telling me, and he's like, it's taking me a lot to even say this to you. And I could tell he was nervous. We were on FaceTime and he was just like, really, like, I could tell he wanted to say something to me but didn't know how to say it. And I was like, hey, if you need to talk to me, just talk to me. This is an open space. There's no judging. Like, just speak. I'm right here. I'm listening to you. And he was like, I want to see you every month. I wanted to be able to fly in, but I don't think I'm in the financial space to do that. And I said, okay, no worries. So you can't be here for Valentine's Day. And he said, I want to be, but I can't. And I said, okay, well, there's March and then there's April. So let's figure that out. He was like, okay, we can do that. And I was like, okay, we can do that. And he's like, but I just feel like we should focus on your birthday. Like, if March and April can't work, February, March, and April can't work out, like, let's just focus on going away for your birthday, because that's really important to me, because that's something you really want. And then he's like, why don't we make a list of all the places we want to go together and then figure out the best route for your birthday? So I was like, okay. And Puerto Rico was one of them. I want you guys to remember this. Puerto Rico was one of them, but I said to him, I want to go to Puerto Rico with me, you, and Marcellus, because Marcellus is half Puerto Rican. And I think it would be a really good bonding experience if we all go together. I said, where I really want to go for my birthday is the Bahamas. And he kept suggesting Hawaii. And I was like, I don't really want to go to Hawaii because I don't want to go to Hawaii without Marcellus. And for my birthday, I wanted to just be me and you. So he was like, okay, we can go to Bahamas. We started listing all these places. And I started sending him like TikTok videos, because we would send each other TikTok videos like all day long, right? So I started sending him like vacation vlogs. And I knew he felt a lot of pressure in like planning this trip. So what he didn't realize is behind his back, I started pitching myself to hotels, resorts, so I would be able to tell him that he doesn't need to stress it. Okay, like, we can make these memories, and let me use my platform to do that, because I don't want to overwhelm you while you're trying to build a business. I had 1,000% faith in his business because I truly believed he was a man of God and a man of his word. He was trustworthy and not a liar. I wanted to support him. He had dropped hoodies, and he didn't even drop the website. Mind you, this was in the very beginning of which we were talking. And he sold all 150 hoodies word of mouth. And I truly believe that he had no issues in selling them and his brand getting out there because he was being genuine. I I really do believe in the beginning of when we were talking and when he met me, he was genuine. I think he was I want to believe that he was serious about me. And that's why the universe was blessing him in other ways. Then fast forward, he wants to drop his hoodies again. And he keeps hitting these roadblocks. He wanted to drop them in February. He hit a roadblock. He wanted to drop them in March. Hit a roadblock. Wanted to drop them in April. Hit a roadblock. And then I was like, why don't you make women's clothing? Like workout gear. Because your following is mostly the gays and the girlies. So why don't you make leggings and shit? Because I could promote it. I could wear it. And boom, you're selling it. If I post that one time on my page, it's a wrap. I wore your hoodie on my story, and I literally would go on live wearing his hoodie, and I'd be like, when the hoodie's dropping, when the hoodie's dropping. And he never dropped them because he sold them word of mouth. So there's none left. And every time he was supposed to drop the website and the hoodies again, he kept hitting these roadblocks, okay? And I couldn't understand. I kept asking him, why do you keep hitting these roadblocks? It's so weird. Like, I don't understand it. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, obviously, I want someone that if I'm in a situation or if I get myself in a situation, I can lean on. But I also believe if I love someone, I don't love you for the things you can give me. I love you for the potential and the growth that we could do together. So that's what I saw in him. Like, I thoroughly believed in him and his brand because I thought he was a genuine soul. There's just so, like, there was just so much, you know what I'm saying? Like, after he had opened up, I basically tried to run for the hills. I tried to end it. And not because like, oh, you're opening up to me, like, let me crush your dreams, but just because if you actually sit and stop and think about it, like, I just didn't see it aligning. I loved him, I just didn't see it aligning. And he wept and was like, don't do this, I love you, like, I want to be with you. Wholeheartedly, like, telling me not to leave. I cannot tell you, February, March, and April, I had tried to leave him all 3 months. I gave the door wide open, so if you were fucking invested in someone else, doing your own fuck shit on the side, you could go. I was literally handing you an exit. And instead you cried and asked me, begged me to stay. Begged me to stay. When you could have just had an out. If you wanted an out, you had an out February, March, and April.
Literally.
In March, I noticed his energy changed. And at this point, we were fighting a lot because I noticed he was lying to me about small things. Like, it looks like he has a birthmark on his lip, and I always thought it was a birthmark. So this one particular day, I was like, oh my God, I love the birthmarks on your back, your arms, and your lip. And he's like, that's not a birthmark on my lip. And I was like, yes, it is. It's a birthmark on your lip. It's permanently there. It's a birthmark on your lip. He's like, no, it's not. So I was like, okay, so then what is it? He's like, it's not a birthmark. So I'm like, what did you make out with someone, pop a blood vessel, and it's permanently on your lip? And he was like, no, it's not that. I go, so then what is it if it's not a birthmark? Like, why are you playing these games with me? Like, I'm so confused. Why are you playing these games? What is it on your lip? So he tried lying to me about what is on his lip. And I was like, so someone did that to your lip? Like, I just knew. The second he brought it up and was like, oh, that's not a birthmark, I just knew that's what he was trying to get at. So then finally, after arguing.
We argued about this.
Like, argued about it. Like, a waste of time arguing about it. He finally admitted, yes, I kissed somebody, they bit my lip, and that was a permanent damage from them biting my lip so hard. So I wouldn't have even known that. Like, you could have let me think it was a birthmark this whole time. Like, you could have just ran with that narrative. Instead, it's like you almost wanted an argument. It's like you almost wanted to, like, have me overthink, lead it to an argument to make me the bad guy. Cause like, and then on top of that, I was right immediately. I was like, okay, so what, did someone kiss your lip? Like, pop a blood vessel is permanent on your lip. I was right immediately. And then you tried lying about it. And then me knowing you're lying about it, I was pushing back like, I know you're lying, just tell me you're lying. And then finally you admit it. Like, why am I the problem, right? Like, little things like that. And then I would get gaslit into thinking I was a problem. So there was like a fine line of like where the respect for each other was. And you know, he'll tell everybody till he's blue in the face that I was disrespectful. He couldn't get past the disrespect. The only time I came out my neck or yelled at him, berated him, was because I like consistency. So if you got me a certain way and then you proceed to switch it up, I am going, mind you, I should have walked away. Let's start there. Like, I acknowledge and take accountability that that's when I should have been like, see you the fuck later. I didn't, so I berated him instead. Like, I even think I dropped a couple fuck yous in there, because like, why the fuck am I'm grown. But anyways, there was always a level of respect I think he just didn't reach. We got into an argument about you having a bite mark on your lip. And it's an argument that didn't need to happen, okay? It just didn't need to happen. And I had sent voice memos like flipping out, because I'm like, this is literally ridiculous. And it's all stemming from him saying, it's not a birthmark. Like, it's like he almost wanted that. Like, I can't explain it to y'all, but like, so you want to fight, like you want to be beefing. This is what you feel like doing. You want me to feel like shit, okay? So that night he had FaceTime me, and he did a three-way call with that very friend that gave me that lengthy ass voice memo in part 1. And he played my voice memos, and we talked about how I was disrespectful. And I was like, okay, but everyone wants to talk about someone's reaction without acknowledging how they got there. Like, okay, y'all can make me out to be the bad guy, but why did we get here? We got here because you lied about some dumb shit. So if you don't want me coming out my mouth or holding a mirror to your shit, then why lie? Or why even try to why even get it to the point it got to that point? So I'm sitting there on FaceTime, they're calling each other
nigga.
And I'm like, huh? Like, what? So mind you, this is not the first time he said the N-word. I had, you know the scene from White Chicks when he's like, I feel a nigga? You know that, everyone knows that freaking car scene. Well, like one time we were on FaceTime and that song came on and he was like acting it out. And I kind of brushed it off because I'm like, whatever, like we're literally reenacting the scene from the movie. Like it's whatever. But then like him and his boy were casual, mind you, his boy's Nigerian. So him and his boys were casually calling each other that. And I'm like, what? So I don't say nothing, and I cannot sleep that night because I'm like uncomfortable by it. Because I'm like, okay, like I'm half black. Like this is, and you wouldn't be saying that in front of my daddy. Maybe your friends are cool with it, or some Latin people you hang out with are cool with it because they say it themselves, but I am not. I am absolutely not. So I had sent him a text that morning. Mind you, another time I should have been like, I'm all set. Like, this is not. And then like him and his boys' interaction, it was like a different person. So like when I heard him talk like that, I was like, who's this person? Like it was just new for me. It was weird. So I texted him basically like, hey, you can't say that word around me. You wouldn't say it around my dad, don't say it around me. And honestly, if people knew you said that word, or if this is casually in conversation, your brand will never take off because you'll be canceled before it even happens. Like 2 weeks later, his boy that used to always tag me in his gym post when he was there, like, oh, he's loyal in the gym, blah, blah, blah. He posted him up singing, rapping, and saying the N-word. And
gang, 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 nigga. Look. Oh, he jacked.
I'm like, so I screen recorded it because I meant to send it to him to be like, so you just like don't respect me, or you don't think I'm gonna see things, but I'm going to see them. And there's just the line of respect is blurred. Like it's so blurred. I don't understand. Let's talk about respect. In March, he was trying to get his boy XL and Romeo to 1,000 followers so they could go live. So they did like the Ice Spice thing, and they ended up getting over 1,000 followers. And so one night I couldn't sleep, and he texted me. He was like, oh my God, join XL's live. And he sent me the link. So when I click on his boy's link, it says you have been blocked by host. So I'm like, blocked from the live? Like, what the fuck? So I go to his page to go to a post in which he had tagged his boy to see if his name was still there. So I go to his page. I don't have access. His name's gone. He blocked me. So I hit him up. I'm like, why did your boy block me? I've showed him nothing but love and respect. I'm so confused. So are you doing shit on live with him? So he blocked me so it wouldn't pop up on my For You page. I don't understand. So he goes, he didn't block you. I'm like, he blocked me. I even sent the screenshot showing him like, your boy blocked me. So he's like, XL's telling me he didn't block you. I'm like, so you're gonna take XL's word over me when I'm literally showing you visible proof? Like, I need to just randomly start fighting with you over TikTok live. Are you serious right now? Like, I don't have a busy ass life. This is something I need to do. Like, be so for real right now. I was like, I don't like that. So for like 2 days, I was just giving him the cold shoulder, and he's like, what's your deal? And I was like, I don't trust you, and I don't trust your circle of friends. I think they're all gonna hold you back in life. It's such a waste of my time and yours. And he's like, he didn't block me. Here's his number. Text him himself. I'm like, so you guys like chit-chatted, came up with a story, and now you're sending me his number so I can call him and get on the phone with him? Like, are you so for real right now? To this day, I still don't know why he blocked me or why he would ever cover for his friend. And I almost think he sent me the live on purpose, knowing I was blocked. Like, I think he wanted to fight, like keep fighting and having reasons to fight in hopes I would dip. Like, now that I'm out of it and everything that's happened, like, I truly think that's what happened. Cause
Make it make sense.
let me give you an example of respect in our relationship. I had gotten this email from this guy who was rich, and it was like his management, and this guy wanted me to be his companion in New York City for a night for $15,000. So without even telling DM, I literally wrote this person back and was like, I'm not interested, I have a man, I'm in a full-blown committed relationship, it's just not how I operate. Like, if I was in a relationship, even that, I'm not like a sex worker. Like, that's not what I do. I had told him right away. I had sent him a screenshot of the email, my response, everything. It was like, this is what transpired. So a lot of men like him. Like, it is what it is. A lot of men and women flaunt after him, sexualize him, whatever. And a lot of men would just like cash app him money. Like, they would hit him up and he'd just send his cash app, and they would send him like $100 here, $100 there. And I was like, whatever, book a flight with that shit. Who cares? Right? Like, I didn't give a shit, because if they're sending you money, they're sending you money, but make sure you're booking it or spending it on things you need to spend it on. Like coming to see me. This one night in particular, we were on Facebook throwing jokes, having a good time, and all of a sudden he was like, this guy texted me saying he'll give me $1,500 a week. But I don't have to send nudes. But he wants like my print in my underwear. He said, and I told him I'm not doing that. He can fuck off, but I'll take the $1,500 just for conversation. So all I heard in that was text. So I said, what you mean text? Because mind you, he would get DMs and I wouldn't care. Like, if they're gonna cash app you, whatever. But he said text. So he's like, he had a Google phone for work, like for personal training and stuff. He goes, yeah, I gave him my Google phone. So I was like, hold the fuck on. I go, first and foremost, I've been in this game a lot longer than you. I can promise you no one's gonna send you that kind of money if you're not giving them something they want. And they're not going to just send you $1,500 a week for conversation, dude. They're not doing it. And I was tapping on the phone like, hello, wake up. And he got so pissed off at me. And maybe I shouldn't be telling this story, I don't know. But he got so pissed off at me. And whenever he got like annoyed, he would like shut down. He would like, his attitude would change. He'd become like cold and mean. He started being rude to me. And I'm like, why is he being rude to me? I'm literally just giving him advice. Like, I'm being protective over him. I don't understand it. And also, why are you giving your number out to a potential sugar daddy without conversating with me before? There was always this lack of like respect in the relationship. And I was like, why are you doing things like that without telling me? Like, I don't understand that. Like, I got an email and I didn't even send it to you before I responded saying, I am not doing this. Mind you, I didn't even need to respond, but like the caliber of this dude, I was like, I'm responding. So I sent it to him, and you can't even tell me till after conversation. Then you're getting annoyed with me because I'm giving you advice. So I hung up on him because I'm like, you're so, like, he's so, ugh. So then I start texting him because I overthink. So like when I sit in it for a second, I'm like, okay, then I start texting my feelings. So he goes, you hang up on me, I don't like that, I already told you once. I go, yeah, I hang up on you because you're rude as hell. He goes, I'm rude because I don't like you making me feel stupid. You made me feel stupid. I go, how is me being protective over you me making you feel stupid? I'm giving you advice. And honestly, I shouldn't be giving you advice. Why are we fighting over a fucking dude you're texting that wants to be your sugar daddy? It's fucking ridiculous. Like, it's literally ridiculous. Like, this shouldn't be an argument we're having in our relationship. It just shouldn't be an argument. I don't understand it. Oh, I'm always a bad guy. I'm always a bad guy. There was just the lack of respect and like the mutual understanding was just like, the lines were so blurred. The lines were so blurred. And then like he told me originally, because his Avi on his social media is a Snapchat filter. So when we started talking and I saw his following that I didn't like originally from the beginning, I was like, are you on Snapchat? So he's like, I haven't had Snapchat in 2 years. I also have a Twitter. I don't tweet. It's been like since 2020. So I was like, all right, that's fine. So all of a sudden in April, because I have Snapchat, my original Snapchat, my OG Snapchat, y'all know, got deleted because I tried to do my OF link and it automatically deleted. And I used to get 100,000 views on that bitch. So I made a new one. I don't tweet, I don't snap on there. I just like to filter sometimes. Like, so this one particular day I went onto Snapchat and it said add contact and he popped up, which had never happened before. And then it happened, so I had sent him, at this point we were bickering because in March his energy really shifted. Like March the energy was just different. He was very consistent, attentive, on my ass. I wouldn't even need to ask him how his day was going or what he was doing. He would give me updates. If he started following someone new on IG, he'd be like, hey, just so you know, this is who I'm following. This is how I know them. Like he was very, very attentive, especially when he knows I'm an overthinker. So he would just let me know things before I even had to ask, right? He made me feel extremely secure, okay? Extremely secure. And then in March, there was this drastic shift. When I started questioning things that had been a red flag for me, he became distant. One particular day, we had already been arguing. I texted him and I said, you told me you haven't had Snapchat in 2 years, but why are you popping up on Snapchat? And mind you, when his name popped up, you could subscribe to it and there was videos that you could see and there was videos of him that he literally had posted onto TikTok before I had even met him. So you have been using Snapchat since we started talking. And I was like, if you're lying to me about small shit like this that I genuinely, wholeheartedly don't care about, then you're lying to me about bigger things, and that's what scares me. And he would brush off what I was saying. He was so mean to me. He was like so cold to me that day. I'll never forget how I felt that day. And I was sitting there and I was like, I'm arguing about fucking Snapchat right now. What am I doing? Like I would literally ask myself,
Like, Gabby, what are you doing?
it lasted 8 months. It was 8 months long and we are now in separation for 5. So I am almost at the point where I have to forget him longer than I knew him. You could have just left me the fuck alone. You could have just left me alone. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I sent so many text messages March to May, like basically begging for the bare minimum. I knew he couldn't financially support me. I know he couldn't do that. So what I was really looking for him was how you got me. I think consistency with someone is so important. Like if you got me a certain way, if that's how you got me, and it was just attentiveness, reassurance, and loving energy, that is less than the bare minimum. So I was literally begging for the bare minimum at one point. And then on top of that, when I got sick of fucking fighting for it and asking for it, I was like, leave me the fuck alone. I asked him, who is it? Like, who is she? And he was like, I would never do that to you. I would never fucking do that. There's no one else. And the whole time, y'all, he was doing it to me. Like, I would post on TikTok or IG and he would be the first person to comment. I mean, like within minutes, like Mahal gassing me the fuck up. Secure. Like, I felt so secure. Like, oh, he's my biggest fan. Like, he'd be in my live sending me gifts, liking it a million times. And then in March, he stopped commenting on my stuff. He stopped posting me after Valentine's Day, to the point like everyone online would notice. And I hate to like even bring up like outside opinions, but like people would get in my head. Yeah, like people would be like, girl, I don't even like you, but like you deserve to be acknowledged, and he don't even acknowledge you anymore. And then I would start to notice it, like, oh, you shit, like when's the last time he commented on my shit? So like I would notice that stuff. It became like a conversation we're having all the time. He's like, oh, why do you care about social media and what people think online? Well, we both have a platform. You basically grew a huge platform in dealing with me. So yeah, if I want you to post me once a month, that shouldn't be a big deal, especially because you are getting a lot of acknowledgement because of my people. Like, that's just what it is. Like, you met me at 33,000 followers, and if you think your platform didn't grow because of me, you're tripping. He deadass tried to convince me, oh, you care too much what people think online. Who gives a fuck what they think if me and you are good? Okay, but me and you are not good because I'm telling you I'm not good. So don't try to tell me we're good when I'm telling you I'm not feeling like we are. Like, I want to be posted. Why are you not commenting like you used to? Why are you not like begging me up? Like, I go on live and you go on live at the same time as me, and then if I hit join together, you won't accept it. Like, there were so many red flags in which I would notice, guys. It's not like I wasn't noticing it, but I noticed it more when like people would point it out, because I'm like, okay. So he tried to convince me at one point, I will make a page on TikTok and I will make a page on IG and I will post you every day. Hold on, let me get this straight, sir. So you want to make a page on TikTok and IG and just post me so only I see it, when you could just text me whatever it is you want to send me, or whatever you want to post? That's what you want to do. So I was like, don't do me any favors. I'm the prize, you are not.
You are not.
You're lucky I even spoke to you. Maybe the next chick will allow you to make a page in which you manipulate her into feeling confident and secure in your relationship, where you're posting privately, posts you don't want to be seen publicly. Not me though.
Like, it could never be me.
Never. So his response was, okay, leave me alone. If you want that girl, whoever it is.
Leave me alone.
Did he leave me alone?
No.
Then he would convince me he was done giving me less than the bare minimum and do the things correctly, in which I would fall again. And then all of a sudden he would slip back to treating me like a basic average bitch. And then I'd be like fighting with him again. And it became this vicious cycle in which it consumed me mentally. And I was like, listen, you told me you wouldn't hurt me or Marcellus. You said you respected my father, you respected my mother, you respected like this family in which you wanted to grow with. And right now you are fucking with my mental. And if this is what you're gonna do, I need you to leave me alone. And he wrote me a novel back telling me, I understand how I'm affecting your mental, and I'm done doing that. I'm going to do my best. I am going to prove to you that I want this and how important this connection and relationship is to me. And I gave him chance after chance after chance. And just when I thought we would be good, I was telling him, fuck you. Because here we go again.
Here we go again.
When someone is not genuine, when dealing with someone who is genuine, their vision becomes so distorted that when they actually meet someone new, they think that person is God sent and that person is actually their karma. Disingenuous people never win. And even if they think or they become delusional in their new reality or what they got going on in their life, they will never prosper. And that's why I'm just like, I'm not gonna sit and question myself why or ask why. I think every other previous situationship or person I've dealt with, I've always taken so long to move forward and to grow and evolve, because I always sat there and asked why? Why me? What about me? Why not me? I'm not doing that anymore. This has nothing to do with me and everything to do with him. Everything to do with him. I said to him, the only thing real about you and me was me. The only thing real about you and I was me. To me, if you can sit and tell someone, this is how I feel, or this is how you're making me feel, or you hang up the phone, or you express like, I need reassurance, I need X, Y, and Z, and they allow you to sit in your shit. And when I mean sit in your shit, I mean they allow you to make you feel alone, less than, unworthy, undeserving of the things that you are asking for that aren't even a lot. That person is just not a good person. They're just not for you. And he would always constantly make me sit in my shit. I would support him, like, yeah, go on live, do your thing, like, grow your fucking fan base, you know, like, do whatever. Like, I've always been supportive. The only time I had started having an issue with him going on live is when he started switching his energy, and there was lack thereof in the foundation of our relationship. There's one particular day in which he was on live. It was really early in the morning, and there was this, first of all, I noticed that someone said his full government name one time early on. This was like in January, before he came out for his birthday. But someone had said his full government name. So I had screenshotted to him, and I was like, how does a shorty know your full government name? Because he doesn't tell anybody his government name. I'm like, who is she? And he's like, oh yeah, she's trying to snitch on me. Mind you, I had just deleted my text apps, my dating apps. And I had put all my eggs in my basket. Mind you, I had deleted my dating apps because he was like, I had told him, I'm like, if I find out you lied to me, if you slept with someone in 11 months, you told me you didn't, or you're talking to anyone behind my back, I'm blocking you. You're done. And he was like, same. And I was like, fair enough. I was like, so are you asking me to put my eggs all in my basket? And he was like, you're my girl, yes. You're my girl, yes. So I had deleted my dating apps. After I deleted my dating apps, I noticed some girl had put his full government name in his live. And I was like, who is that? That's obviously someone you had a one-on-one conversation with that knows you, because you don't tell nobody your government name. And he tried to act dumb, like, oh, she's trying to snitch on a motherfucker, like. And I had sent him the screenshots, like, oh, I deleted I deleted these apps. Like, so if you're not, I cannot stress to y'all, I expressed to this man, I don't date for sport. Like, I'm dating for the long haul. I am not doing anything that is going to affect me and my son. I'm not doing it. I am a softie for rom-coms, for romance. You guys know this. Yeah, I don't care how many times I get hurt. Like, I'm always gonna be open to the idea of love, just because I'm worthy of that. I feel like everybody's worthy of that. So the second time he was here, he had never seen Crazy Rich Asians. So I was like, oh my god, movie night. And we watched Crazy Rich Asians, and the part where, mind you, we cried throughout the movie together, but the part where the couple was getting married, and I Can't Help But Falling in Love With You played, and they looked at each other and said, I love you. We both wept. In that moment, I was like, oh my god, I really think I found my person. Marcel's needed a lot of discipline, so one night at like 7 a.m. my time, which was like 4 a.m. his time, he's like, I've been searching online and I found this taekwondo spot. You should really sign Marcel's up for this. I think it would be good. All he needs is a little discipline and he'll be good. He was so invested, like Marcellus. Yeah, he only met Marcellus and was around Marcellus a couple times, but they FaceTime. They talked on the phone. Like, Marcellus really thought this person was going to be a part of his life, and he convinced me that he wasn't going anywhere and he would never hurt either one of us. On May 1st, he had hit me up Grand Rising because I told him to stop telling me good morning, because good morning, you're saying morning, and I was like, it's a bad spell to put in the universe. Like, let's tell each other Grand Rising, because we're not gonna mourn each other. Like, that's not what we're gonna do. So after I told him that, he would say Grand Rising. He hit me up with Grand Rising, beautiful, I'm on my way to LA to get these hoodies. Mind you, it's May now. He wanted to drop these hoodies in February. Remember I told you about the roadblocks? So I was like, okay, my love, like, safe travels, are you going alone? Like, and then he was giving me updates throughout his whole trip driving there. He had hit me up and was like, I really need to talk to you. So let me know when you're by yourself. Marcel's had soccer. I don't know, I was at my mom's house and he had texted me and I hadn't picked him up from school yet, but like the routine was he got out of school, came to my mom's house, and then we got him ready to go to soccer. So I was like, should I be nervous? Because he knows I'm an overthinker. So I was like, should I be anxious? Should I be nervous? Like, what's this conversation about? And he's like, no, you shouldn't. It's about me. And I'm like, okay. Mind you, my birthday's coming up. And he knows I'm really sensitive about my birthday. And he hadn't booked his flight yet. Marcellus goes to bed. I call him. And he's telling me how horrible the trip went, that he ordered another 151 hoodies and only 152, and only 2 of them were workable. He sent me a video. He's like, I keep hitting all these crazy roadblocks, like I'm not supposed to drop. these hoodies, and like it's overwhelming. And in my mind I'm like, why is he hitting, like I couldn't understand why he was hitting such roadblocks with his brand. So I was like, what do you want to talk about? So he starts telling me about how his friend, mind you, before I get into this, I just want to give you context. Before we even met, because we started talking for 2 months before we even met in December, he told me he doesn't have a high sex drive. Like if he's not around the woman he's with, like he's like, if he starts thinking about it, he'll go to the gym. He's not sitting there like one of those dudes. Like he really likes to transmute his energy, especially that energy, into something that's going to elevate his life, which I liked about him. So mind you, a few weeks before this conversation on May 1st, he was like, I wish I was still a virgin. And I was like, I think about that shit all the time too. And he's like, if me and you were living in the same city, I wouldn't want to be like having sex every day. But because we're in a long distance relationship, when I'm with you, like I want to put my hands on you. I love our skin to skin. I love touching you, so forth and so on. And I was like, yeah, we don't see each other enough. So like, even if we hook up so much when we're with each other, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not a lot. For example, like we saw each other December and January, so it seems like we did it a lot. But now it's been like 4 months and we haven't done it at all. So like when I see you in May, it's not going to be like horrible. But I get what you're saying, like, because guys, you know I could go celibate. Like it's not that deep to me. So that was a conversation we had weeks before this conversation. So anyways, this conversation, he starts talking about how his business partner, the one that I told you I thought would be a really good influence in his life, that one friend, decided that he was like, his sister can read Bible verses off her memory. And he was telling me, because he had went to Laguna Beach that Sunday before this Monday, right? And he was like sending me pictures and videos at the beach, and he said that he basically was there and his boy was telling him, his boy, they call him Hershey, was telling him how he wants to stop drinking and you know, all that stuff, and he doesn't want to have sex. He wants to be close to God and become literally God's soldier. And he's saying these things to me, and I can feel my heart start beating really fast. I'm like, I feel like he's about to tell me he wants to be celibate. I'm like, okay, let me just listen to what he gotta say. So he's like talking, he's like, I wasn't really saying anything to him. And like that Sunday, we didn't end up FaceTiming because I had hit him up really late. I woke up from my sleep and realized he hadn't hit me up. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, you're still in the gym? And he's like, yeah, I'm literally just here listening to Hershey. So he had sent me a voice memo and I could hear the gym in the back. He's like, last night when you had hit me up, I was literally in the gym with Hershey, like just talking to him about his view and ideology about God and religion. And I feel like I'm slipping away from God, and that's why I'm hitting these blockages. Which I almost felt like he thought I was a blockage in his blessings, okay? That's like kind of how I took it. I just didn't say it out loud. So he's like, I want to be celibate until marriage. And I was like, mute. And he's like, I know this is a lot to take in, but I want you to know, like, I want you to be by my side. And I know that we're not official. So I go, hold up right there. What do you mean we're not official? He's like, I know, like, we aren't officially boyfriend and girlfriend. But I want you to really think about this because I want it to be you by my side. And I go, since when are we boyfriend and girlfriend? You've been telling me for months. 1, you haven't broken up with me. 2, you don't want me to go anywhere. 3, even since December, you've been calling me your girl. So all of a sudden now, we're girlfriend and boyfriend without calling each other girlfriend and boyfriend, which I didn't like. It made me feel very uneasy because it was the first time he had ever said that. He was like, I really want you to think about it and then like let me know your thoughts. I know this is a lot to take in because I'm just like kind of throwing it on you. I had talked to my sister about it. His sister's a Taurus like me, and she's spiritual. She's into like the tarot readings, the crystals, so forth and so on. So he's like, I had told my sister about it last night and she doesn't agree with it, but she's like, whatever you want to do. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. You told your sister before you even called me. Like, you went to the beach, to the gym, had this discussion with your boy. your family before you had a discussion with the person you're supposed to be in a relationship with? I go, this is a huge decision you're making without even like talking to me first. I go, I literally gave you my celibacy and you were celibate. So both of us are just like, both of us gave each other our celibacy, and all of a sudden you want to be celibate till marriage. I was like, something about that is not sitting right with me. So I popped a joke and I'm like, okay, well, when you come down for my birthday, can we do it at least one more time? He flipped the fuck out. He's like, so you don't take what I'm saying seriously? And he's like, I don't like that. Like, that's not sitting right with me. I don't like that. Like, I don't want to sin anymore. Like, screaming. Like, when I tell you screaming at the top of the, I don't want to sin anymore. I don't want to sin. Like, we got to make our sins right. Like, really flipping the fuck out, right? So I'm like, me and you being physical with each other when this is a divine connection is not us sinning. You have this so wrong, like it's not us sinning. He was like, why don't you think about it and call me back? So I took a shower, and to me, I was so unconditionally in love with this guy, and I had already been celibate, that I didn't care about being celibate. I was like, oh, it is what it is. Like, we're long distance anyway, like, so it's not that serious. Will it be tough around each other? Yes, because around each other, guys, the physical chemistry was not. I was like, okay, will it be tough? Yeah, obviously, but like, it's not something I can't handle, you know? So I had texted him. I was still naked. I was out the shower, and I go, I'm with you 1,000%. Like, I'm with you. Like, I literally said, I'm with you. So he called me when I was getting dressed, so I was like, I'll call him when I'm done getting dressed. So I call him back. He's walking into the gym, and we're talking, and he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, so what if we don't get married for 10 years? Are you gonna start resenting me? And I was like, no. He's like, but you're very sexual. And he's like, I don't want you, like, us to be around each other and you get mad at me for being with Christ. And he's like, I know you're spiritual, and religion and spirituality is not the same. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're not about to do this, because you even said you want to get enlightened with spirituality. You've even been sending me angels' numbers and being hip to spirituality. So let's not do this. Let's not do this phony shit right now. So he's like, that's not what I mean. I'm like, you don't even go to church, my guy. So if your boy said to jump off a bridge, you're gonna go do it. You're not in a relationship with him, you're in a relationship with me. So then I started getting irked, because I'm like, I'm literally telling you I'm down with you. I'm gonna hold you down, and this is unconditional from my end, and you're pushing back on what I'm saying. So I go, I'm not trying to be insidious, but like, if you're trying to get me to leave you, if this is your way of doing it, like, just leave me. If you're lying right now just in hopes to get me to leave you, to make it easier, you feel less guilt about any fuck shit you got going on behind my back, just leave me. You don't have to do all this. I'm literally giving you the door. It's wide open. You could go. Because I'm literally sitting here and telling you I am down for you. I am down to be celibate. I'm down to build a connection based off God, off trust, off genuine love, emotional compatibility. I'm down to do it all. You don't have to tell me twice. I'm here right now. I've been here this whole time. I've literally been going against everything I believe in. You don't see that I'm here. So if you're trying to be insidious and you want to go, the door's open. You can go. No, I want it to be you. Like, flipping out. I want it to be you, like, swearing at me. So I go, why are you swearing at me right now? He's like, because you're pissing me the fuck off. You're pissing me off. He goes, my dad's calling me. Click. Hung up on me. Took a deep breath. And I'm like, sitting on my bed, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is this? So I call him back, and he picks up right away. And I said, did you just hang up on me? He goes, my dad beeped in. I go, okay, but why are you talking to me like that? And then I changed the subject, and I said, it's May 1st. My birthday is in 17 days. You haven't booked a flight. And I went all out for your birthday. And you know, my birthday has always been a sensitive topic in time for me because of my childhood. So I know you can't take me away because you financially can't do it, but you said you would book a flight to come here. He goes, why are you talking about this now? Like, what does this have to do with what I just told you? I go, it has everything to do with it. What do you want with me? He goes, I want to be with you. I said, okay, do you see yourself marrying me? Like, you're talking about celibacy in marriage. You said you're not saying this for me to leave you. So where do you see yourself with me? He goes, I see myself with you. Like, I want it to be you. I want you by my side and only you. He's sitting there convincing me that is me. When I gave him another chance to leave me the fuck alone. So I start flipping out. I said, you haven't booked your fucking flight. And he goes, why are you bringing this up right now? I go, because it has everything to do with what you're saying. You're telling me all these things and your actions aren't matching. I go, if we're with each other, can we kiss? Can we cuddle? Like, can we touch? Like, he goes, yeah, and it's going to be very hard for us because we are very into each other when we're with each other. And so I go, so is that why you're trying not to see me? Because you're trying to be godly? Is that why you haven't booked the flight? He goes, maybe that's it. He goes, maybe that's it. He goes, but I was always going to go. Like, I'll go home right now and book the flight. I go, but why do I have to keep bringing it up? My birthday was coming up and I had the rooftop booked. I had the paint sip booked. I had your flight booked. I had all this shit planned out for you. And it's May 1st and I'm asking you where your flight is at. I don't even want to give. Like, it's been 4 months. We haven't seen each other. And your flight's not booked. And you want me to sit here and listen to you tell me that you took my celibacy. And now you want to be celibate. And even when I'm telling you, okay, I love you enough to do this for you, there's like this resistance, this wall. So like, if you gotta leave me alone, leave me alone. So we start beefing and I get so pissed off I hang up. Does he call me back? No. He doesn't call me back. And I sit in it all night. Send him a ton of text messages. I'm like literally talking to myself. I go, I just feel like I've been in this relationship by myself for a really long time. I didn't think I was gonna get emotional because I'm like, I feel so past it, you know? But like talking about it, like remembering how awful he made me feel is just so shit. And I was like, are you fucking gay? Are you gay? Like, you're not in a relationship with your boys. You're in a relationship with me. Why are you like having conversations and making decisions with him, not me? Like, are you in love with him? Like, I'm so fucking confused. I'm like, I'm so sick of asking you for the bare minimum and you meet me with like silence. Like, I'm so tired. I'm so fucking tired. So I sent a million text messages to him, and then the second and third day I just didn't hit him up at all. We went 3 days without talking when we talked every day for 8 months. And that's when I knew like there's someone else. We hadn't talked for 3 days and his boy was like adding me on his IG story like, oh, you're lucky, like immature shit, which I'll show you.
Hold on, chill out. Nah, don't do that. Don't do it to him. Nah. Yeah, Gabrielle, you left out. Chill out. Ooh, shit. Shit, lick the lips, Woo, baby, you know. Look at him. Gabrielle, there's no girls around. He stay loyal. Hey, pray. That's right. Hey, there's no Drake right here. No Drake.
And we were in communication. So like, you know your boy is doing this and you're not communicating with me. So Cinco de Mayo came around and I called him. It was like 5 p.m. my time. And he picked up like literally on the second ring and was like, hi. And I was like, are we done? Because 3 days of silence to me means we're done. So he starts FaceTiming me. And I pick up his FaceTime and like we had like an issue where like even if we were fucking mad at each other, we would see each other's face and just not be mad anymore. So like I picked up his FaceTime and we both looked at each other and I was like, so we done? And he was like, are we done? And like we both started laughing because it's fucking ridiculous. Like, what the fuck is this? So he's like, where are you going that you look so pretty? And I was like, nowhere. And so we get to talking and he's acting very nonchalant. And like he always had this nonchalantness. And I'm like, I don't know why you act nonchalant when you're a softie and you cry so much. Stop it. Like, stop it. I'm not the one you could do this with. So he started acting nonchalant. He's like, what do you want from me? Like, you're always complaining that I'm giving you less than the bare minimum. And the way he was talking, it was like, he just did not give a fuck. So I look at him and I said, I'm done. I'm done. Like, you win. Like, I go, if you were trying to push me away to the point, like, I'm walking away first, cool. Like, I'm done. I go, I'm literally so tired of sitting here telling you how I feel. Like, at this point, I'm a broken record. I'm sick and tired of my own voice. Like, if you're sick and tired of hearing me, trust me, I'm more sick and tired of hearing me. So when I had said that, he always used to make this face when he was about to get emotional or like cry. And so he made the face. So I looked at him and I said, you have something to tell me, so just say it. His bottom lip started to quiver and he just started to weep. To the point like he couldn't even verbally speak to me. He started texting me. And he basically was like, I really tried with you. Like, I can't get past your disrespect. I'm like, you literally told me you're the #1 person to tell me not to give up on this connection, that we have to fight, that this is a connection from God and that love isn't enough and we need to work. And you're talking about my disrespect because I think you're up to some fuck shit. Like, I think you're disingenuous. You know, he kept texting me. So I go, can you come to the screen? And at this point, we're both crying because it's just like wicked emotional. And I was like, so we're just like, I go, you're not gonna come here for my birthday? Like, my birthday is literally in 13 days. Like, you're not gonna come here? And he's like, I wanted to come here. That was the plan. That was always a plan. And he's like, now I just don't know. Like, I don't know how we can work. And I go, what do you mean, how can we work? Nothing we've gone through is something we can't work out. I'm fighting you for the bare minimum. I'm not asking you for a lot. So if you don't like when I get wordy or choosy or make you feel some type of way or I yell at you, I don't understand why you just don't keep me how you got me. Like, this is where the disconnect is. Like, I'm not understanding. And I said, I just flat out looked at him. I said, what do you want from me? And I want a happy life with you. I want to be happy with you. I go, okay, so let's be happy then. Get on the flight and let's be happy. So the next day, it was a Saturday, I think, and Mother's Day was coming. And he told me that his mom grew up poor but loved Hello Kitty. His parents would, like, he would always, like, involve his parents in our relationship.
Dad, sing it with me. Sing it with me. Dad, sing it with me. L is for the way. What do you mean O? L. Sabi ko L. L is for the way you look at me.
Bakit A-L tapos O na agad? Ano?
Extraordinary. It's even more than anyone that you adore can love. Is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a prayer.
Even on his sister's wedding, he stayed in a hotel room with his parents, and he had FaceTime me after the wedding, and him and his mom were on FaceTime with me going through all the pictures. We were on FaceTime for hours, like literally hours. And they were all in a room together. And it's like, I felt like very connected to his family, and I was really excited to meet his family, that I was teaching myself how to cook the food, speak the language. Like, I just wanted to be, you know, like, I wanted to approach his family like I understood and respected their culture, and like, I'm here, you know? He had told me his mom grew up poor and loved Hello Kitty and could never have it because she couldn't afford it. So Mother's Day was approaching and I got my mom a separate gift, and I was like, you know what, let me get his mom something and mail it. So I ended up giving her a perfume, a candle, matches to go with the candle, a tiny bottle of champagne. I wrote a card basically saying like, I love your son, and this is just a token of my appreciation because you birthed my favorite human. I just can't picture life without him, and I can't wait to meet you, Mahal. And I had gotten her a Hello Kitty limited edition Disney necklace, and then I had gotten a Hello Kitty face mask, like those face masks, like the Korean face mask. And then I got a lip mat, like a chapstick that was Hello Kitty, like a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff. And I had shipped it that day, and I had bought him a Valentine's Day gift that I didn't give him yet because I was gonna ship it. But then I asked him, do you want to wait till you come in May to get it? And he said, I'll just get it when I come in May. And I said, okay. So I had his gift in my closet, but one of the gifts was this teddy bear I bought him. And the teddy bear was wearing a hoodie that said horny AF. So I had sent him the bear with his mom in a separate package with his mom's package, and I wrote him a love note. My thing with him is I used to write him love notes, and he loved it. He was romantic in that sense and got emotional when I did those things. And I just love doing those things. So I wrote him a love note, and I basically said like, I understand there's been like a huge disconnect in our relationship, but like I understand where you're coming from a heart to heart on Cinco de Mayo. And I'm asking to give this relationship some grace. Like, we're just figuring out a footing. Like, both of us have never done long distance. I go, I'm giving you this teddy bear was part of your Valentine's Day gift, but I'm giving it to you now as our chastity belt. And you can put it up on your wall at home, and then when we finally commit long term, we can take the bear off and commence our relationship. It was really a romantic letter. So I had shipped that out the day after, and he was texting me, and I told him, oh, I'm getting ready to ship your mom's gift out. And he had told me like, I'm one of the sweetest people, like you're so fucking sweet, blah 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 blah. So he's like, I'm on my way to my sister's because they were doing like a after marital kind of party thing. And I was like, okay, have fun, blah blah blah. And then he had sent me a picture of himself. So I sent him shampoo and conditioner of the brand that he likes, and I had sent him a picture. I said, for when you come. And he didn't respond, and hours went by, and I'm sitting there looking at my phone like, we just had this talk, you said you want a happy life with me, and now you're not, like, there's a disconnect again. So I just sent a long text message like, what are we even doing? So he wrote back, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I don't know what to do. And then I tried calling him, and he's like, I'm with XL. Had I known he was with his friend, I don't think I would have sent that text, because it's so easily to he is the type that gets easily influenced by people. So once he said that, I was like, oh. So all night he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I really want to be with you, but I just don't see how it can work. I'm like, why are you saying it can't work? Like, I just don't understand how you're saying it can't work when all you've been lecturing me about is how we need to make it work. The very next day, I had asked him that night after, I go, listen, like, if we're gonna end, let's end beautifully. Like, fly in, we can end this just as beautiful as the story started. Like, it doesn't have to be like this. Like, it really fucking doesn't. Like, I would love to make a million more memories with you, but if your heart's not with me anymore, like, let's just end it gracefully. Like, we don't have to hate each other. It doesn't have to be like that. And so I didn't hear from him the whole next day, and then he broke up with me via text message. I had fallen asleep because I was so tired from just being mentally drained from the situation, and I had woken up at 11:30 at night, and I saw that he had texted me at 8 and broken up with me. And then I went to social media, and he had removed me as a friend on IG, had made all our contact deleted. And then on TikTok, he was still following me, and all our content was still on his page, which I thought was interesting, like, because that was the main platform in which people said he was using me for. So I realized he was still following me on that page, and all our content was still up. So I started blowing him up. Like, it felt like, I can't explain it, but it felt like someone just took a dagger and just stabbed me right in the back. So I was blowing him up, blowing him up, blowing him up. He wouldn't pick up. And I text him, I go, you're not picking up, like, this is so cowardly. Like, how are you gonna send me this text message? Like, what is this? Like, I've given you 8 months of my life. Like, I've literally fought for this connection. You fought for this connection. We have cried over this connection. Like, what is this? So I call his boy, XL, and he doesn't pick up. Then I call him again, he doesn't pick up. Then he picks up, and I feel like he's with him. So he basically blames me the whole time. Like, you disrespected him, and you should have known better because he was in a relationship. I go, he never told me anything about his relationships, his traumas, or his triggers. And every time I would try to ask him, he would never tell me. So if he didn't like the way I was speaking or certain things that I said, how am I supposed to know how to fix it or correct it if he's not telling me? Like, I'm not a fucking mind reader. And he's like, his own boy was like, I don't agree with how he broke up with you. I think it's immature. Yes, I don't agree with it. He's like, but just give him space. Just give him space. Like, he'll come back. Like, just give him space, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I give him space. So 3 days go by, and the package has arrived at his house. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's so weird that he hasn't hit me up or said anything about the package, especially with the romantic letter I wrote and the bear. Like, that's just not like him, you know? Like, he's just not like that. So I had FaceTimed him, and his dad picks up. And I go, hi, Pa. And he goes, hi. So he's making chicken salad, which he loves. He loves chicken salad. He goes, I'm making him chicken salad right now. So his dad asked me how I am. And I'm like, you know, I've definitely had better days, but I can't complain. So me and his dad talk for a few, and then the phone turns, and I'm thinking it's gonna be him. It's XL. So XL looks at me and starts walking away from his dad. And XL goes, I thought I told you to give him space. And I go, yeah, but I'm not calling for you, I'm calling for him. So put him on the phone. He was like, he's in the shower right now. I go, I don't care, I've seen him naked. We FaceTime in the shower every fucking day. Give him the phone. So he knocks on the door, and he's like, you have a phone call? And he's like, who is it? And he's like, you know who it is. And so he goes, no, I don't want to talk to her. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, what is this, fucking middle school? Like, what the fuck is this? So I tell XL, I'm like, I'm a grown-ass woman, what the fuck is this? So XL goes in the bathroom, and he doesn't realize, like, XL's holding the phone up, and he doesn't realize I can see DM in the shower with his head out like this, listening to the conversation. So XL's trying to tell me, like, oh, I told you to give him space. He's not ghosting you. He's not ghosting you. Just give him space. Just give him space. Just give him space. I go, okay, so what do you think this is? Like, he's going to go do him and then come back to me when shit hits the fan elsewhere? Like, this is not what we're doing. And I'm not even calling for him. I'm calling because if we're really done, like, can we just get on a call with Marcel? Marcellus was involved. He's not, I don't know what he's doing right now, but he's not heartless like this. So, like, cool, I'm not gonna beg him anymore because I've already begged enough for the bare fucking minimum. I'm done doing that because I deserve more. But, like, what about my kid? So he puts me on mute, comes back, and he goes, he's done with you. He's done with you. So then he starts texting me himself. He's like, it's over, Gabby. It's, just respect my decision. It's over. I go, I'm not calling to be with you. I'm calling, can we get on a FaceTime call tomorrow for 5 minutes to just tell Marcellus, hey, he cares about you, but, like, it's not gonna work. The distance is just too much. Something. And he responds so cold. I'm like, this isn't who you are. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, please, Gabby, please. Like, he was being so mean to me, like I cheated on him or I did something horrible to him. And I just, like, couldn't wrap my head around it. And I was like, so you just, everything about you was fake. Like, you don't even, cool, you don't care about me, but you also don't care about that little boy. 5 minutes to you is too much. And he just said, I have to go. And I remember looking at my phone and I was like, okay. So I went to TikTok and I blocked him because he was still following me and our content was still up. So I went to TikTok and I blocked him. And I went to IG and I blocked him. And because we had messages with each other, he blocked me back. And I had originally thought he had blocked me and blocked Marcellus and blocked everybody because I didn't realize on IG that once you block someone's page, every page connected to that page automatically gets blocked too. So I thought he physically went to Marcel's page and hit block, but it's just because he blocked me back that he blocked all the pages, and I didn't realize that. So like when I went on TikTok live that day and was like having a fit, it was because of that. That was a Wednesday when I called and I decided I blocked him. He was petty and blocked me back and then blocked my number. And I was like, you know what, whatever, at that point I didn't care. I was like, fuck this, like, he's mean. Like, I literally was like, he is so mean, without really realizing how mean he actually is. So then he made the Mother's Day post. My homegirl had sent it to me. And I was like, why would he post? Like, no one had to know. Like, we could have just unfollowed each other, blocked each other, and just gone about our business. Like, and let people make their own assumptions. But you posting that up on Mother's Day was a direct fuck you to me. And I was just like bewildered. Like, I literally had no words. Like, I hit up his boy again and was like, what the I could ruin him. Like, I could easily get online and destroy this motherfucker. Like, what is he fucking doing? So I had, you know, made a few TikTok posts in which you guys had seen. I'd gone on live and like was crying and stuff because women were coming forward, and I just like felt so dumb. And to me, it was like I had fought so hard and long for the connection because I had given it so much. I had given up my celibacy. I had brought my son around someone for the first time. He was around my family. He made promises to me and my family he just fell short of. And I felt like I was holding on to it for so long and was stuck in that energy for so long because of that. And I broadcast that. But even the post that I made on social media, I was very graceful about it. And I wasn't disrespectful as I would have been very much so in the past with previous connections. And his random boy was telling him, that man never cheated on you, stop lying on his name. Mind you, they all liars. They all knew he was cheating on me. They all knew who she was, and they were all in cahoots. They were all in cahoots. And the night he broke up with me, his friend Excel kept telling me, he don't fuck, he don't date, like, he really put his all into you, like, he gave it his all. Mind you, the whole time he knew he wasn't celibate before me and was cheating on me. And the very girl he was cheating on, he was getting with immediately after me. So anyways, I digress. So the only reason why I took to social media to begin with, because I was gonna keep my mouth shut. We had this mutual friend named Joe through TikTok that we became friends with on IG, and Joe basically showed me messages. Potty's drinking water. It sounds so ridiculous. He basically told Joe on June 8th, which was exactly 1 month after we broke up, that he had a whole wife, that his wife was bad, and to fly him and his wife in, but like nonchalantly talking. Mind you, Joe didn't even have DM's number. They weren't cool like that. Just someone, an acquaintance, if you will. And he's talking to Joe like this, and then telling Joe like, oh, I never asked her to be my girlfriend, like making fun of me almost. Like, why does she feel the need to explain any of this to social media? You took to social media, my guy. I blocked you and you took to social media. That's how you handled it. Then you're telling him I don't owe people a fucking story when you're literally bashing me on Mother's Day while pretending to give a shit about my kid. While pretending to act like you saw longevity in me when you had ill intentions before you even showed up at my doorstep. It really hurt my feelings. Like, I was like 1 month and he's already with someone, which is funny because one of the posts I made was like a slide of his text messages. And there was like 500 comments, and everyone was like, oh my God, he love bombed you so bad. He has borderline personality disorder, like whatever he has. Like one of his boys had hit me up and was like, have you ever considered therapy? And I was like, why don't you talk to your friend about therapy? Because what he has is beyond narcissism. He's literally psychotic. How he can act, cry on cue, act like he cares about someone, and then just turn cold because he got pussy elsewhere is literally beyond me. Like, the way he can morph himself into whoever he is fucking is beyond narcissism. Like, there's deep-rooted issues, and only God can help him since he's God's gift, okay? So that really triggered me. The crazy thing is, even after all this, okay, after all the disrespect, because like before I gave him the time of day, I scrolled on his TikTok. I creeped. And yes, the dancing was cringy and like all that shit. But there was nothing to the extent in which he started posting after we broke up. Like, it wasn't over sexual. It wasn't like really sexual songs. It wasn't about Latinas. If I had seen all that shit before I even had a conversation with him, I would have never talked to him. You understand? So it's like the second he broke up with me, it's like he took who he was messing with and cheating on me with and started making every post like a direct jab at me and a direct boost to her ego to make her feel more secure in their whatever relationship it is. Kind of just like deleted all the content about him and just like said fuck it. And even after all the disrespect, I didn't think there was someone. Okay, like I saw the message he sent Joe, but I thought he was being like, even me and Joe were talking and I was like, well, maybe he's not being serious, because like a month after and he was just crying over me, like the relationship was so intense. Like, I don't think so. Like, I genuinely wholeheartedly didn't think, even though I knew like deep down my intuition was telling me there was someone in the middle, like in March when he switched up, I was like, there's somebody. I still gave him the benefit of the doubt. And with giving him the benefit of the doubt, because I invested so much, and I got a reading, and it was a false reading, saying he was my twin flame. And part of the twin flame journey is you challenge each other. You mirror each other, you challenge each other. And there was a lot of mirroring in our relationship. I don't even want to deep dive into it because it's way too personal. And I'm not going to give out too much of his business because that's not for me to say. But there was a lot of mirroring in the relationship and a lot of triggering one another. So I for sure could understand. I thought he was just moving in his shadow. And how he came at me, who he was in the beginning was just a mask. Like, he went and studied my page, realized who I was, realized I was celibate, and became me. Like, he literally became me. So I didn't even know the person I was falling for. So one of the lives, a few girls came forward and was like, oh, he took me on a date. He wasn't celibate, he took me on a date. So one of the girls had hit me, I had like DM'd her. And she's like, we talked from August to October and then he ghosted me and I kept asking him, who is she? Like, who are you talking to? And he was like, it's nobody, you're tripping. And she had sent me his number and their text messages and stuff. And her Abby for him, for the phone number, was a picture of him, like a selfie of him. And it irked my nerve. It's just like, I don't know, I can't explain it. Like, then she was like, we went on a date and then we went to a park and we made out for hours in his car and he finger popped me. And then he kept telling me he wanted me to meet his mom. And I was like, huh? So then she's like telling me all this and she's like, yeah, he wanted me to meet his mom. And then he kept asking me to go to his parents' house late at night. So I was like, oh, he's on some funny shit. And she's like, he stressed me out so bad in the 2 months we were talking, and I just knew just the way he would speak, this isn't good for me, it's not healthy for me. And so I had sent her the screenshot of the DMs I originally had got and was like, did he talk to you like this, like those cringy DMs? And she goes, oh my god, yes he did. And I always thought it was so cringe. And I always thought it was funny because all the girls that approached me to tell me about him, they all said he talked to them the same. He never talked to me like that. Because let me promise you, if he did, I'd be like, no. And even my text to him after hearing those DMs, I was like, this is so cringe. I'm done. Like, I was literally checked out, which I should have honestly been done at that point. Like, I literally should have been done at that point, but whatever. I think he knew that approaching me, it has to be different. Like, yes, the girls he approached, some of them were really pretty. Like, he could get away with being like the player type, the cringy type, whatever the fuck. Me, no, you couldn't. Like, it wasn't gonna work with me. Like, I'm a grown-ass woman, I'm a mom. So he came at me differently. He didn't talk like that, he didn't act like that. It was just different. And also, regardless of any girl being pretty, my traction is different. Like, at the end of the day, it's not that I'm not unknown. Like, I'm a known person. Like, even the first time I went in his live, I was in there for literally less than 5 minutes. And people were freaking out because I was in there. So it's like, maybe that's why he ended up sending me a DM, because he's like, oh, who's this girl? And like, why is everyone freaking out? And that's why he came in so disingenuous, because he saw an opportunity. And he's an opportunist and wanted to take that chance. And so I asked this girl, I'm like, so what date did he take you on? And she's like, Domino's and Boba. And I was like, oh my fucking God. And she was like, it wasn't a fucking real date. It's like a joke to me. So she was like, and then another girl, like a couple girls hit me up and was like, yeah, he would ask for my physique on Snapchat and then he blocked me in October. So all these people, like when you see me crying on that TikTok live, it's because I wasn't crying because I had known I got cheated on at this point. I was crying because everything he had ever told me literally was a lie. And every doubt I've ever had and approached him about that he made me feel crazy about it just became true. Like I wasn't actually crazy. And it was almost like a cry of like relief and also a cry of like such utter disappointment. So his post on, because I kept up with him for like a little bit, but like his post on TikTok immediately after our breakup became specifically like about being in a relationship or being like the obsessive type, or like I got the Latina I always wanted. And at first I was like, okay, he's just being petty. Like I genuinely thought he was being petty, and I thought the messages with Joe was just him being an ass, like, you know, like
Whatever.
because I was falsely told he was my twin flame. I generally thought he was marrying me and he was in his shadow. So I had reached out like once or twice and left him a voicemail like, I'm just checking on you, because I know his mental health was like, you know, a thing. Everyone's mental health is a thing, and I genuinely cared about this person. So I wanted to make sure at the end of the day, like, are you okay? Like, are you good? Like, I hope everything's working out with you and the brand and so forth and so on. I always told him that as a TikTok, like it's two people that came together with TikTok, that we could have blown up as a couple. There's like so many avenues we could have done. And what he doesn't know is, right, I know he was really stressed because I was pressuring him about wanting to go away. And I had wrote so many resorts trying to pitch myself and him to get my birthday trip. And I got a resort in Jamaica to sponsor a 6-day stay. We just had to pay for flights. I got them. Look at how the universe works. He broke up with me, and that following Monday, the resort wrote back and was like, hey, yeah, we're totally on board. And it's just like a huge, like, look at all the effort and time I put into this. And there's so much money we could have made together. And if he was gonna use me, like, you did it completely wrong. And even the advice I gave him to make his content, he did not listen. And if I gave him advice or said, stop making those dumbass TikTok, I remember I called one of the dances a dumbass TikTok dance, and he had like a complete meltdown and was like, you sound like my hating ass friends. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not your friends. Second of all, why are you friends with them if they hate on you? That makes no fucking sense. Third, I always said the TikTok dances are dumb as hell to me. And if I catch myself doing it, I'm literally making fun of myself for it. I go, so why are you taking anything I say personally? I'm always in your corner. I told you I would model it. I even made a promo video for him at one point that I was gonna drop when he dropped the hoodies to push his brand. I would wear it in my lives, all this shit. And I'm like, you cannot ever sit there and call me a hater. I don't give a, like, it was just another fight. Just the amount of like projection he would put onto me and I would allow it is just like, it almost, I can't even. He was supposed to be my +1 to Awilda's wedding. And this was planned like early on, like in January. I had told her, yeah, he's my +1. Mind you, I told no one we broke up. Like my family didn't know, no one knew. I was keeping that shit to myself, okay? Because I just wasn't ready to tell the world what an asshole he was, especially my family, because I feel like once you tell your family, it's like real fucking permanent. I had shipped his Valentine's Day box to him, and I went all out for Valentine's Day. I got him, for his birthday, which you saw in the videos, I had got him Ethica underwear and jammies. So I decided for every holiday moving forward, that's something I would do for every gift, because he loves Ethica and he wants to be sponsored by that brand. So I bought him 2 new pairs of underwear and jammy bottoms again for his birthday. I got him 1 in a Million cologne, because I told him in the love letter that I wrote, because I love writing love notes, that our love is 1 in a million. I got him Carmex, 2 sweets, like sweets, because he's not really a sweet person, but there's 2 types of sweets that he likes, so I put them in the box. I put flaming hot Cheetos, because I messed up on his birthday, so I got it right for Valentine's Day. I got him 2 Nike tops that were smaller than the one I got on his birthday, because the one on his birthday was a little big. I got an In-N-Out gift card because he loves In-N-Out. And I had it shipped to my house so I could write a personalized note. I gave him a picture of myself. It was his favorite picture of me. I printed it out and wrote a note on the back. What else did I get? Little sentimental things. And I had shipped to him in June. I was like, regardless if we're together or not, like, this stuff is for you. And like, I hope you enjoy it. I hope it makes you smile wherever you are. And I had sent him a protection bracelet by Archangel Michael because I was told he was my twin, and I was like, okay, we're divinely connected, so like, even if we're not together, I want you to be protected at all times. And I had blessed it, had it sent to his house, whatever. Heard nothing. And even after that, at one point I was like, okay, I'm done. I had this weird text message sent to me talking about like, it was a random person acting like they fucked me. I have to put this interaction in, and this was the day after I went to a Drake event. And it was so strange, and I was like, that is so weird, because like, no one knows my number. So then a week later, at 2:30 in the morning, my time, I get a text message basically saying, stop hitting up my man, he never fucking wanted you. To be honest, he just used you for followers and likes. And then they talked to me in Spanish, and the message in Spanish was like, you have to accept that he doesn't love you anymore. And I wrote back,
No habla español.
it was 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And at first I'm like, there's no way he's with someone already. It's only been 2 months. Like, in my mind, I was like, someone's fucking with me. This is someone I know. And then I was like, it's not him, because he would never give my number out. Like, he just wouldn't do that. So I never even hit him up about it. And at that point, I wasn't really hitting him up. Like, it's not like I was hitting him up. So I was like, this is so weird. And then I got a bunch of fake messages on TikTok. Like, one, they were talking like in a broken English and then talking normal, which I was like, this has to be fake, but like, they know stuff about him. Like, they knew about his leggings, and he hadn't announced the leggings. So I was like, this has to be someone connected to him, because this makes no sense. But also, like, they're talking normal and then talking like in broken English, right? So I was like, something's not sitting right with me. So anyways, all this happened. And even after all this happened, I decided in August I was going to do a romantic gesture, because to me, I was told he was my twin and we would challenge each other. So I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. And again, if I'm going to be completely transparent with y'all, I gave him so much that I wasn't ready to let go. So I had sent him a round trip flight from Cali to Boston with the wedding invitation in it and a note that just said, I hope this letter finds you and your family in good health. This is straight out of a rom-com. I valued you so much, and I hope you get on the flight. Love, Gabby. Like, it was very simple. I don't really know word for word what I said, but it wasn't too mushy. I didn't say I love you. I just said get on the flight. This is like straight out of a fucking movie. And me and him bonded over rom-com. So I was like, okay, get on a flight. I sent it certified mail so he could send it back if he didn't want it. And also certified mail, you have to sign for it, so I know you got it, you know what it is. Also, you can send it back with the carrier if you don't want it. So I sent it certified mail. He got it August 10th and signed for it. And to me, I was like, oh, he might not even respond to like very last minute and just get on this fucking flight. Like, he really might like ride this out. And I'm wholeheartedly thinking like he's gonna get on this flight. I am such an amazing fucking woman. No one's gonna love you in this capacity. I'm sorry, no. Like, there's just not, you're not gonna find another me in anybody. So I'm sitting here like wildly delusional and confident that he is going to get on this fucking flight, right? So a few days go, like a week goes by or something, not even a week. And I had just gotten a new job. Things are falling in place in my life. Like, things are going really well. I had a work event. It was like the best in North Shore, really big event. You have to have tickets, you have to have VIP to get into this event. I asked my dad to be my date. So I don't go to work that day because I'm working from home, and then I'm going straight to the event. My friend, the one person that knew I bought the ticket, I didn't tell anybody else, hit me up and goes, girl, he uploaded a TikTok showing another girl's arm in Puerto Rico. And I was like, huh? So she sends me it, and I can't tell you what it felt like. I really can't tell you. I lost my shit. I hit up Hershey, the only friend that I thought was a decent human being, and he blocked me. All his other boys had already blocked me on IG when I was like on live and stuff and I was talking shit right back to them. They all blocked me. None of his boys had blocked me on TikTok, so there was one friend on TikTok that I had messaged and I was losing my shit. I'm like, tell me he went to Puerto Rico with the very girl I was suspecting him of talking to while with me. Like, just tell me. Like, put me out of my fucking misery. I'll cancel the flight. He'll never hear from me again. I don't care. One of y'all tell me instead of just blocking me. Like, what is the issue? Like, all of y'all have been lying in my fucking face. Like, all of y'all told me how much he was so in love with me. Why can't y'all? I don't understand. I go, you know what? Because you know, like when someone's not friends with you on TikTok, they can read your message and it always looks like it was sent, but I don't have to know it was seen. You know what I'm saying? Like when someone messaged me, I read it. But the only way you're gonna know I read it is if I accept it and let you know I saw it. So his boy could have read the message and just like ignored it, right? So I said, listen, you know what? Don't even respond to me. Just leave me on scene and block me. If you block me, I'm gonna take it as yes. His boy accepts the message, leaves me on scene, and doesn't block me.
It's the mind games for me.
So I'm at this event, I didn't eat all day. When I tell you I did not eat all day, I did not even drink water. So I'm at this event, I have a mask on, y'all. Like, and I don't like wearing masks because I just think it's so fake, but I had to mask it. I just started this job. So I'm at this event, my dad's with me. He's having the time of his life. He's mingling, he's like entertaining my coworkers, my boss. And my boss goes to him, I hope she never quits. I don't know what it is, I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about her and I never wanna let her go. And I am trying not to cry at this event because I feel so sick. Like I literally feel sick to my fucking stomach. I feel stupid. I feel so used. And I'm like, so that message I got in July, he actually did give my number out. I was like, that actually was him. And I'm over here literally like giving him the benefit of doubt as a human being. I get in the car with my dad and my dad's like, this has been your life is coming together, everything is so good and you just don't seem happy. What's going on? I was like, oh, I'm just tired. So we drive home and I am exhausted. I tuck Marcellus in. I'm ready to take a shower and my phone starts blowing up no caller ID. I'm thinking it's him, but I'm like, why is he calling me no caller ID? That's dumb as hell. But maybe it's because he just uploaded a girl's arm. Like, so I pick up and I'm like, hello, silent. So I'm like, hello, silence. So all of a sudden I said, hello. And she's like, who's this? Who's this? Like real wretched, like yelling at me. So I'm like, you're calling my phone asking me who is this? Make it make sense. And she goes, oh, I'm gonna make it make sense. So before she could come at me any type of way, I said, nah, and I hung up. She didn't call back. But what she failed to realize is when I found out he was in Puerto Rico, I took my sister's phone and I started blowing up him FaceTime. Like I wanted him to pick up and like tell me, like if this your girl, like if that's who you were cheating on me with, pick up, own it, say it with your fucking chest, you feel me? Like just be a man for once. Stop being a coward, pick up. A real man would have gotten the gesture I sent and been like, hey, I appreciate it, you're so sweet, but like I'm just not there. That's it. Instead, you disrespect me even more, like you didn't disrespect me enough in the 8 months we were together. She had accidentally blown up my sister's phone and blown up mine, and she had hit up my sister's line without blocking her number. So I had put her into Cash App, figured out who she was, and I texted her back. And my response to her was so mature, because I'm a girl's girl at the end of the day. Like, why are you coming at me like I did anything to disrespect you? Mind you, I didn't realize that she was the girl around during the whole time. At first I was like, oh, maybe she's someone new, you know? Like maybe she's someone new and didn't know he was in a relationship or whatever. Wrong. So after he gave my number out and allowed someone to call me, I, even to this day where I'm sitting here making this video, have no words. I have absolutely no words to say because I never did anything to him except try to push him to be the best version of himself and love him unconditionally. Like there was no conditions. He brought nothing to my table. Like absolutely nothing to my table. And I was still willing to love in my love language and love in my capacity, okay? And his love language were supposedly the same as mine. So, because you're supposed to love someone in their love languages, right? You're not supposed to love in yours because some people's love languages are different. But he said his love languages were the same. So I felt like I could wholeheartedly be myself, and it was coming from a pure and genuine place. So the fact that you felt so comfortable in lying on my name, talking badly about me, and giving my number out to prove to whoever you were cheating on me with, talking to while you were with me, that I ain't shit is insane to me. Like, I never deserved that ever. So, you know, she calls my phone. I hang up before I could go anywhere because I'm not entertaining that, because if it wasn't her, right? And I'm not gonna focus a lot on her in this video, because if it wasn't her, if it wasn't gonna be her, it was gonna be someone else. And if it wasn't gonna be a person, it was just gonna be something disingenuous, because he's a fraudulent human being. He's an evil, calculated, malicious human being. There's a difference between being young and immature than being calculated and malicious. And I think a part of me sitting here making this video is because it's for me. For me, it makes me feel better that the world gets to know who you are. Whether they digest it in or not, they get to, because what didn't sit right for me was him doing everything he has done to me and then putting himself out there like nothing. Like none of this mattered. Like a human being's feelings, life, child, none of it mattered. So I think making this video is like almost therapeutic for me, because I now feel like you can't get away with it, even if it's just with me, you know? Like, that's how I feel. I texted her and I sent her such a mature message, because I'm just not in that space. Like, I'm never going to be that woman ever again to be like, oh my God, why her, not me? It has nothing to do with me. I was too woman for him. So like whatever else he has going on past this point, it has nothing to do with me. But I'm gonna make it clear to her, because he is clearly lying on me, that about the timeline, about his feelings, about the relationship. I'm gonna let her know why I held on for so long in my feelings, so it's clear, like, hey, I didn't know about you. And I was blowing up his phone because I want him, instead of being the coward he was that texted me, breaking up with me, to look me in my face next to you, if this is the case, right? And show me this is exactly who he is. The person I thought the whole time he was, this is who he is. I wanted him to pick up and show me that. But instead, he gave my number to you and just continues to disrespect me. Like, there was just, even the Mother's Day post, there's just been so many levels of like, fuck you. And I don't understand it, because I generally didn't do anything to this guy, except give him too much, and he kept taking. He took so much that I generally had nothing else to give. And then he was like, well, I'm gonna go to the next person and take from them. This is a text that I had sent her. Text, I'm gonna just read it so you guys know that I'm a girl's girl. Maybe I wasn't before, but now I am, and I would fucking never fight over no dude. Like, you got me fucked up. You call my phone unblocked, so this will be my only message to you, because we clearly didn't get off on the right foot. Being as DM is our common denominator. There is a little bit of tension, but I have no issues with you personally. Being a girl's girl, I thought I'd share my side of things, because I am not some crazy ex who can't let go. I am in fact a very hardworking single mother who makes very good money, and I'm going back to school for nursing while working for a plastic surgeon who is putting me through school. I met DM at one of my more vulnerable times in life, where I was celibate for 3.5 years, and he pursued me very passionately. He told me he was cheated on and was celibate himself for almost a year. It was something I thought we had in common. I put a lot of trust in him and broke my celibacy for him. My celibacy was the closest I had ever been to God. I brought him around my family and around my most sacred possession, my child. He knew what my child had gone through, and me as well, and my son grew extremely attached to him in the 8 months we were together. He promised things to me and fell very short. The way he ended things with me was evil and cold-hearted, like I did something disloyal to him, like I was a stranger, and this is why I'm still affected by this till this day. In fact, he was disloyal. He lied about being celibate and was very much sleeping with someone before me, aka her. So I'm like texting her not knowing this. Hooking up with another, juggling different girls and conversations. He lied about who he was and had a mask on to get to me. He also lied about having Snapchat and so many other small things that hurt me. He would tell me we have to fight for our love because love isn't enough. Would send me videos about Jesus and our connection to keep fighting. Also, I want you guys to know that he would also send me videos about what it, like, if someone hasn't told you you're a great mom, you are. Like, he would send me videos about amazing moms and stuff. So, yeah. He sent a lot of videos that he didn't align with. But the second his mask started to slip and I was feeling his shift energetically because of other women's energy, he ran. I still care and love him because there is a strong energetic pull. And because I gave him so much is the reason why I've been holding on for so long. I also believe if you truly love someone and there was a genuine connection emotionally and spiritually, you don't just get over them in a matter of 3.5 months, because we have only been in separation for a couple months. So maybe instead of looking at me like the crazy ex, you take a look at the man you're investing your time with and question why he is not more affected by the ending of a relationship with someone he wanted kids and marriage with. He saw a future with me. I'm sure all the things he is telling you is the same narrative I fell for. Maybe ask yourself why it is so easy for him to detach from someone he gave so much time to and got so close to. How does a man of God hurt a child? How does he hurt a woman who was sent from God and then turn around and act like a victim? He lied to me about who he was to take from me. Someone doesn't change that fast when he didn't even allow himself to move on properly. Maybe just think of that as you navigate your relationship and understand all I did was love and fight for the family he promised we were building. I was fighting for my son as well. So keep in mind, I sent that very mature because I am literally a grown-ass woman, and she never responded, so I ended up just blocking her number. He had changed his number. He had given her my number and then changed his. He is unbelievable. Like, he is literally evil. Like, I can't even begin to fathom. I used to do one-on-one calls and tell people, oh my God, he's the nicest guy I've ever met. I used to tell people that. I used to tell my family, my friends, like, oh my God, he's the sweetest guy I've ever met. Oh my gosh. He is literally a wolf in sheep clothing, which is so funny because I literally gave him a wolf for the first card I ever wrote him. For the first love note I ever wrote him, there was a wolf on it. And in fact, you are a wolf in sheep's clothing, and it's terrifying. It's quite truly terrifying. Again, I'm never going to be the woman that sits here and says, why her, not me. I did that with Russ. I did that with his girlfriend. And I wasted years of my life because comparison is the thief of joy. This is my journey, and their journey is now their journey and has nothing to do with me, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, why you, not me? I don't care why. I don't care why. But you're gonna know that he lied to me, strung me along, and this is why I held on so tight. This is why even in the end I did a romantic gesture, because I didn't think this is the person he was. I realized she didn't respond because she was dealing with him while he was with me, and she clearly knew, because I'm on social media, that we were still I posted him up till the very freaking end. So it's like anyone with 2 eyes that could see we still had something going on. So what is she gonna say back? You know, like, what is she gonna say back? So yeah, I honestly feel like him giving my number out was just a level of disrespect you can't come back from. Since my first spiritual awakening, once I have feelings for someone and they get with someone else, I am done. I am not attracted to you anymore. I don't care. I was literally done. I just wanted someone to tell me from his people that I was right the whole time. Like, just tell me I was right. Y'all spent so much time telling me how much he was in love with me and to give him a chance, but none of y'all could tell me I was right the whole time. So this really, I'll never ever feel insecure. And side note, this is the last time this has happened to me. This was God's final test, because ain't no way, literally ain't no way I'm doing this again. And on top of that, he was telling everybody that, even strangers on the fucking internet, that we were never serious, we were never together, we barely saw each other. You were living in my house for like 13 days. Like, what are you talking about? And that's neither here nor there. Like, you can build a relationship. There's so many people that are in long distance relationship. If you FaceTime with someone all day long, if you're on the phone texting 24/7 and falling asleep on the phone with each other, that's a relationship. That's a relationship. If your family's involved, that's a relationship. He had told her that he was never that into me. We were never that serious. We were just talking. And he said that he wasn't even attracted to me like that. I was more attracted to him, and sexually, he wasn't into it. And I almost feel like he made it seem to her like he was disgusted he got with me. Which is like straight up like, are you
okay?
You literally told me you want to come inside me to make a baby. You literally told me up until the end of April you want my kids. You had relations with me on my period when we didn't need to do that. Like, my period came and you still wanted to physically be intimate with me. Like, I don't get why people do that. Like, why do you get with someone else and then proceed to lie or call that person crazy, disgusting, gross, I never fuck with her? Like, that is a red flag. Like, he never did that with me. Like, he told me he got cheated on, but he never sat and bashed anyone. He just said, oh, she's kind of trash. Like, she wasn't good to me, and that's it. He never sat there and bashed anybody. So, like, if he had done that to me, I would have been like, red flag. This is a huge red flag. I'm not dealing with it. Mind you, there was red flags all over the place, but, like, I was Ray Charles.
Ray Charles to the bullshit.
He didn't even like sleeping with me. Mind you, we'd be on FaceTime and he'd be bricked up, like talking about my moan, like, oh, I'm thinking about your moan right now. Like, it's just ridiculous to me because it's unnecessary. Like, you can go and move on with your life without belittling someone else in the process. You don't need to do it. But liars, gaslighters, manipulators have to do that because they're so fucking full of shit. That should be an immediate red flag. Sitting there telling somebody I'm crazy, I can't let it go, I wasn't even into her. You cried more than me. You cried more than me. And if you can cry on cue like that, then you deserve to be in LA and you deserve to get a job in Hollywood because that's crazy. Like, it's insane to me. I feel like he morphed himself into me when he was dealing with me, and I think maybe that's the reason why I fell for him, because I was really falling for myself at the end of the day. Like, you know when you break up with someone, you're like, oh my God, I really love that person, but it's like, what did that person actually do for you besides marry you? And then you're really just falling in love with yourself and always talking about, I'm a godly man with a godly woman. It's like, she texted me knowing you used me, was okay with it, and then proceeded to call me again to talk shit to me knowing you played me. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So you guys can thump the Bible 24/7, sit down and kumbaya in a group of people, but y'all don't understand what it is to be right with God. And it is what it is. And that's why I will never compare myself to a woman again, because I am me and that's my superpower. He was the antagonist in my story and I was a victim. And I know I've always been like, oh, I hate having that victim mentality, but generally, like, wholeheartedly, like, I'm the victim in this story. And, you know, he turned around after doing what he did to me, moved on with his life so graciously, so godly, if you will. Excuse me, I don't have a time limit on how I heal and grieve from the things you did to me. Let's not forget, you did this to me. I didn't do this to myself. So you can act nonchalant, you can go about your life and act like you didn't hurt somebody, hurt two people in fact, and I'm going to deal with it how I want to deal with it. And yes, I will absolutely sit here and take accountability, because I can only do the same story with a different body so many times before I become the problem, okay? But I am still a human being at the end of the day. I am still learning, I'm still growing, and I am never going to change how I love. I will never do it. I will always be a beacon of light. I will always be a caregiver. I will always be nurturing. Will I have more heightened discernment? Absolutely. Absolutely. But again, I cannot stress this enough. He was my final test from God. I truly believe he was sent from the devil, bro. Like, I was starting to excel in my life, so the devil wanted to put me right back where the fuck I was stuck for so long. And I got out. Like, the universe took the trash out. The God himself removed me from that situation because he was never deserving of me, ever. And to this day, if I sit here, I cannot tell you why I stayed for so long. I cannot tell you why I even dealt with it. And a part of me, like, this one night we went out and my sister was with us, Kayla was with us, and I kept giggling. Like, he made me laugh a lot. Like, we had a lot of laughing memories. And my sister was like, I've never heard you giggle that way. And I said to myself and to her the other day, literally just the other day when we were talking about this, I go, I think he came here to heal a part of my teenage soul that is so wounded, that is so broken. And that's probably why I was giggling like a little ass schoolgirl when he was popping his corny ass jokes. You know, I just think there's a lot of childhood wounds I have, a lot of teenage wounds that I have, and I think he came, and the part of me that was lashing on was the younger version of myself. Because the older one, my higher self, was like, yeah, it's time to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Girl, get the fuck out of Dodge.
So I understand that I can only do this so many times before people start looking at me like, girl, you the fucking problem. I agree. Like, there was so many times I was like, leave, and I didn't. But when you're so in it, when you're like knee deep in it, your brain, like that high from the dopamine, the things that are going, it's just, it works a different way. It's like your heart and mind clash. They're like literally a head-on collision, and you're just not moving how you're supposed to move, even though you know what you have to do, and you have to leave because it's not the person for you. No one, okay, no one that is a good, pure human being would do this to another human being. And that's just what it is. It just would not be engraved in their energy, their aura, their essence to do this to another person. And that's just who he is. Unfortunately, the person I fell for, the person I loved, doesn't even exist. And that's why I am detaching from the situation, and I don't care anymore. Like, you didn't exist. You are a folk's tale. And the person I really love and was falling in love with was myself. And it's really always been about myself. So I guess the biggest takeaway from all of this is I have a pure and genuine soul. And I think I have to allow myself to take it easy. Like, I'm not gonna feel guilt about what is already done. You know, I'm not gonna have guilt about falling for someone that I thought was reciprocating my feelings. I thought it was genuine. I think the biggest takeaway from everything is not everyone is pure and genuine like myself, and I have to use my discernment and put up boundaries so this doesn't continue to happen. Because, you know, when the universe sends you a lesson and you don't learn from it, they just keep sending it to you more vicious. So this was my final lesson, because I'm never doing this again. I now understand fully and wholeheartedly that not everyone is as pure and as genuine as me, and no one, and that's okay. And that's okay. But that's when I need to walk away, because I am very deserving of everything. Every fairy tale you've ever seen, every love story you've ever read, I deserve that. You deserve that. Everyone deserves that. And I am not going to feel guilty or shameful in the fact that I fell for someone that I thought was reciprocating everything, when in fact they were just being deceptive, calculative, and manipulative. I will learn. I will absolutely learn from this experience. I am growing and evolving every single day. But this is it. Like, this chapter is done. I was gonna upload part 2, and then I got a DM this morning, and I think it's divine timing that I got the DM before I dropped the video, because I think it's very imperative that we cover this and like just conclude this whole thing. So let me just read y'all the DM. It said, Excel said your ex said he didn't enjoy sex with you because you were too rough and accused him of being gay. Your ex then lied about wanting to be celibate so he wouldn't have to sleep with you again. Excel said this blog is making a video. He say you got mad at him for not defending you during fight with Danny, and you were yelling, and he thought you were going to hit him, so he started crying. Excel said that. First and foremost, if a woman's yelling at any grown man and you feel like crying, where's your balls at? I'm sorry, where the fuck are your balls? Have they dropped yet? Have they dropped yet? Secondly, the argument with him and I had nothing to do with him defending me during a fight with Danny. It literally had nothing to do with that. I didn't spend a lot of time harboring on that situation in part 1 of the video, because I just acknowledged, the only thing I acknowledged was the fact that drinking was a problem for me, and that was a side of me he got to see. There's layers to people when you're dealing with them, getting to know them, that there's light and dark about themselves, and I very much didn't like that part of me, so how is someone else gonna accept that part of me? And even seeing me in a very dark space in that time, in that night, he said to me in my face when he was here that he chooses to stand by me, and he just said, I don't think the friends you have are for you, and I don't think you and alcohol mix if you're dealing with shit, which 1000% agreed with. I 1000% agreed with the alcohol part, because me and alcohol don't mix. That's why I really don't drink anymore. I went 63 days without drinking before I drank champagne at a Wilda's wedding, and I haven't drank since then. So me and alcohol really don't mix, and I think me not drinking during all of this has been such a blessing in disguise. Because you imagine how the video would turn out if I was like still in my drinking phase, sipping, making story times. It would be such a fucking chaotic mess. I'm just not there anymore. So like, shout out to that situation for literally elevating me into the right path. Now let's talk about the sexual part, because I did bash me. First of all, why are you talking about me sexually to anyone? Not to any girl, not to your friends. Like, I shouldn't be sexualized in any way to anyone in any type of conversation. I'm not talking about your sexuality ever to anyone. Like, I don't, and even in this video I didn't talk. I just said yes, we had a lot of sex. Like, the first 2 times he was here, a lot, and even the second time we had less than, because we were bickering a lot, but it was still a lot, even on my period. And I wasn't like, oh, you just sleep with me. It was never like that. So I don't understand why I am a conversation with anyone, especially when it comes to my body or sex. Like, that's just so weird to me. I tread lightly with this topic even throughout this whole video, because everyone's sexuality is their own, and they have a right to share what they want to share or express themselves how they want to express themselves on their own. However, if you're going to sit and talk about my sexuality, then why can't I talk about yours? And the only time I seriously asked him in a serious context, are you gay, is during the time in which he pretended he wanted to be celibate. Other than that, he would always accuse me of being bisexual myself, and he would pop jokes about it, and I would pop jokes back about him being bisexual, and it was lighthearted, it was fun, it was never anything that would make him feel like I was accusing him. I never did that. The only time I ever seriously asked him, are you gay? Like, are you in love with your friend? Was when he said he wants to do what his friend was doing, and I was like, okay, so like, are you gay? Because I truly didn't get it, because I literally was opening the door for him to leave, to exit, to, if you're using this as an excuse to not be with me, then you can just go. And when he said that wasn't the reason, that's not what he was doing, then I was highly confused, and I think I had every right to be like, okay, so I don't get it, are you gay? And he was like, so you believe everyone on the internet now? Everyone thinks I'm gay, so you're gonna... No, that has nothing to do with anything. It has to do with the fact none of this is making sense to me. I just want to talk about just a comment of saying he didn't like having sex with me because I was aggressive. Mind you, he would be the aggressor half the time, and then I would be the aggressor. So it's like, if you're doing something in our bedroom, why can't I do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why it can't be equal. So anyways, when we were physical with each other, he would like when I took control. He said, and I quote, I am a bottom. I like when I'm on the bottom. I like when you take control and you're on top of me. So I don't understand how all of a sudden I'm too aggressive. I will say that one time the second time he was here, he told me that he likes when it's intense sometimes, but he also likes when we take it slower, because he's been sexualized his whole life. And sometimes when it's too intense, he feels like it's just fucking, and he looks at me more of making love. I also feel like if that is the case, why did you have me bent over in front of the mirror so you could watch me while you fucked me? I feel like you were just as aggressive as I was, so I don't think that's an excuse. You can sit there and call me bisexually, and I jokingly talk back to you doing the same thing in a lighthearted way. For you to take it personally without telling me makes no sense. Like, how are you gonna do something to me but then be offended when I'm doing it right back to you? And if I actually thought that was the case, I wouldn't have been with him. But now, after reading this DM and being on the outside looking in, I feel like he needs to be intimate with women that have no sense of dominating energy. Like, he needs to be with someone who will not make the first move, will not be aggressive in any sense, in any capacity. He just needs to feel manly in that sense. And I feel like because I'm so strong and know what I want, especially sexually, it was too dominating for him. And I feel like he felt, instead of focusing on like how powerful our energy exchange could have been, he was more focused on his performance and how he would look or how I would take it. And instead of just like enjoying the moment, because he almost felt like he had to overcompensate by the way I was unintentionally making him feel. And that's not, I wasn't trying to make him feel that way, but that's just how I am, which we talked about before we even met. And he told me he was a sex god and I'm a sex symbol, and now like I'm too aggressive now that he's not with me. So it's just like never ever was I ever harshly accusing him of being bisexual or gay. The only time I ever intensely asked him, like so confused and so serious, was when he was telling me that Hershey wants to be celibate, now I want to be celibate. And I was like, huh? Like that was the only time I genuinely was like, okay, this is not making, if you're sitting here telling me you want to be with me and you're not using this as an exit, then I'm genuinely confused. And that's the only time I had seriously asked him. Every other time, we and him were just joking with each other. And just so everyone's clear, if this is something that he is dealing with internally in his life, and maybe, and quite frankly, maybe this is why he's trying to get so close to God and Jesus, because he's trying to suppress or demise a version of himself that he doesn't want to exist. But if these are things he was struggling with in all seriousness and he was straightforward with me, I think the outcome of him and I would have been completely different. It again, being authentically who you are and being a genuine human being instead of disingenuous will always get you further than being calculated, malicious, and a liar. And it would be extremely alarming to me the way he would be so homophobic when talking about gay men. Like, I mean, guys, homophobic. And I'm not going to go into details about that because him and I know. And I used to be like, why? It's not that deep. Like, it's not that deep. But the same men that he would bash are the same men that were sending him money and he would take it. So that was alarming for me. I just never, it's not something I brought up to him. I kept it internally. So for anybody to be messaging me saying, oh, you accused him of being gay. No, I didn't. I had thoughts like, why are you homophobically bashing the very men that are sending you money all the time or trying to be your sugar daddy, and you're accepting it? Like, that makes no sense to me. You can't have it both ways. I kept that shit to myself though. The only time I had an issue was when I talked earlier about how he was like exchanging conversations behind my back without telling me, when typically he would tell me. So yeah, I never even told him my thoughts on it. So I definitely wasn't accusing him throughout the relationship about his sexuality any type of way, unless, again, we were lightheartedly joking with each other. And during the celibacy talk, I was befuddled, like I was confused. So anyways, I wanted to just address those throughout the video because I ultimately feel, unfortunately, that he, throughout this whole experience, he has no remorse. He does not give a fuck. Like, as a human being, as someone that has emotion, who's an emotional person, he does not care about me as a human being. Never mind someone that he dealt with, never mind that someone who is wildly good to him. He just doesn't, and I don't think he ever did, cared about me as a human being. And I, now being out of it and all these things happening and finding out, and even this DM, I feel like there was no way in absolute hell we were going to work out. I stuck you ever stick your phone in your front pocket and like digs into your thigh? Oh, the fuck. I need to drink a sip of my water because me just thinking about all the cringy ass paragraph long text messages I sent is giving thirsty ass bitch. Be so for real. You know, but like, I'm into the place where I'm like, wow, I don't even recognize that girl, because that was like my little Gabby not woman Gabby. The woman in me is like, girl, you come so far. You ain't gotta do all that. You did not have to do all that. And on top of that, whoever sent me that message, you know what? I just think his boys are like so lame. Like, I get, like, you know, a lot of people talk shit to me because they're like, you have no friends. You can't keep a man. And I'm like, yeah, because no one deserves me. No one. No one. No one. No one. Literally no one. I am that special. I am put on this earth and I am that special. I am, and it's taken me so long to realize it. And even when I thought I knew, I didn't. And that he was a test. He was a test, yes. And I'm so thankful for that test. I really am. And also his boys would, one of his boys that commented on one of my videos and was like, you funny. You funny. Like, shut up, dude. It was like in my live, literally 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, sharing it. And it was on my backup page because like I didn't have a lot of viewers. I mean, I did. There was like, when I left the live, it said like I had 5,000 viewers in the chat, which I was like really surprised about because that page only has like 13,000. But anyways, he was in the chat and I happened to catch it. Like my eyes looked down and it said the username, so I clicked on it to see if it was his boy, and it was. And it said, this username shared the live, and I'm like, block. After this whole thing, like after he gave my number out, I blocked everybody I know personally that he knows. I might have not blocked everybody. I don't know shit about the guy. So I blocked everyone I knew that is connected to him, so no one can see my shit. No one can come in my lives, no one can see my stuff. Bye. Bye-bye. Like, you, and the thing is, I deserve an apology. And you keep acting in a way where I'm like, what's wrong? Like, why are you moving like that? Like, you cannot be talking about God. Like, I sent him a novel-long text message, right? At the very end, I said, you cannot think you're God's soldier. You cannot think you're a man of God and you move like this. God will never bless you. He won't, till you realize what you've done and who you've done it to. And I'm not just talking about me, because I'm sure he's done some fucking terrible shit to other people, you know? But I'm God sent. So I truly believe I deserve an apology. And if I don't, Marcellus does. He could never, because he's a coward and he's not a man. And he's definitely not a man of God. So I'll never hold my breath for that. I would never hold my breath. But do we deserve that? Absolutely. I did nothing. Learning experience. It was a learning experience. So why are your boys why are any of them keeping up with me? Why are they on my live? Why are they sharing my live, and to who? Because I blocked you on social media. So you know, it's just bizarre. It's just all of its bizarre behavior. Even getting the DM, like, if your boys feel the need to run to a blog to try to bash me like you've been doing, I can't lose sleep over that. God got me. That's why you out the picture. You see that? You see how that works? You see how that works? But I'm gonna take a sip because Lord knows I was thirsty as a motherfucker. I'm tying my shoes, sorry. God said, let there be light, huh? I also want to make it clear that I'm not gonna sit here and try to prove he was sexually attracted to me or was attracted to me or loved me or liked me. I don't care to. If he's going to go around and tell everyone he didn't, he never did, wasn't attracted to me, but was doing all the things that he was doing, whatever makes him sleep at night. Because I know what it is, he knows what it is, God knows what it is. So I don't care if the internet does. And people are gonna believe what they wanna believe. He's gonna believe what he wants to believe. It has nothing to do with me. And again, we attract who we are in that given time. You know, of course I'm hurt. There's certain things that he did to me that are ungraceful and really fucked up. To me, it's been a period of self-reflection, because how would I have ever allowed any of this when I am so fucking great? I am amazing. Inside and out. I'm beautiful on the outside, but even more beautiful on the inside. And somehow I attracted someone that showed me I did not think those things. So I have taken the time to self-reflect, and instead of being the victim and boo-hoo-hoo and hating him, I have still continued to move with love and light and worked on me. This has always been about me. And how cool is it that before we come on earth, we sign contracts with the people that we cross paths with, and we have a story that we don't remember. And then when we cross these paths and we learn these hard lessons, that we made this pact together outside of our human form. And I just think that's so cool. So as much as he came into my life to reflect certain things, to me, I really think, like my friend had told me, this is going to be a catalyst to an awakening for him, because he needs it. And sometimes I think my purpose in life is to wake people up and to show them who they really are, and to teach them unconditional love. And in return, they teach me more self-love. So yeah, I don't care to prove anything to anyone. And if he feels the need to lie on my pussy, my life, my heart, my soul, our whole relationship, he needs to take that up with the higher ups, because he's going to deal with it for sure. And I think there's a lot of suppressing he does within himself, that he is not his authentic self. He's not. I think he's so detached from reality. And there's been a lot of insulting, a lot of deflecting, a lot of pointing fingers at me like I'm the bad guy. I genuinely feel like the only way the universe knew how to free me from his energy, free me from this situation that ultimately would have just done nothing for my life and where I'm going, where I'm supposed to be, was to forcibly remove him, and in a way that was painful, like extremely painful, and would hurt me. So I will never, ever, ever do this again. I'm never doing this again. I can promise you, he was my last test. And it's sad that even after all the disrespect, even all the shit talking he's done, I genuinely wish him well. The difference between him and I is I was genuine. So when people come to my page and talk shit about him, I'll delete the comments. I remember 2 pages had made fake pages, like one called him a monkey, one was like making fun of him. I blocked them immediately. Haters will make pages of me bashing me, my pictures of me crying and like saying really disgusting, vile shit under his stuff, and he'll leave it. And that's the difference between him and I. I was always genuine and pure, and my love was real. Nothing about him. I don't know who he is. I never did. I don't know anything about that guy. So I want to take a second, because I do have to go. The lighting in here is crazy. I do want to take a second to say I am thankful to the universe, to God, for shaking my world up during that Mercury retrograde in May. I was at my wit's end, literally on my knees about the situation, and I cannot thank God himself enough. Like, I cried for God, like, God, I don't understand why I'm going through this again. Like, he really had me fooled, but he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. He came when God was pulling me where I needed to go. Like, when I tell you every time I talk about my celibacy, I get so choked up. When I tell you that on my celibacy journey, it might not be a reflection in this video, because how could I possibly have stayed so long? How did I possibly deal with all this shit? I know all my healing is not a reflection in this personal story time, but I did a lot of healing. And I felt like I was really going where I needed to go. And when you feel like God is like taking you to that spot, the devil really will come back and try to yank you back into those cycles, yank you back and put you where you have already grown out of, to remind you that he's still fucking there. And that's all. He was sent from the devil, so he can sit here and talk about God, and he reads the Bible, and he has godly friends and a godly girl. Like, I don't care. You guys can thump the Bible, memorize the verses, sit in a circle and kumbaya. I don't care. None of y'all are godly. None of y'all are aligned with God. You know who is though? Me. I've always been God's girl, and that's why every single person that was never meant for me, whether it's friends, a lover, shit, even family at times, has been removed when they needed to be removed, even if it hit me in the chest and I couldn't breathe. So I want to do a special thank you to my spirit team to God. Thank you, God. Like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I would have stayed for so long if you didn't remove him as quick as you did. I am so thankful, God. I am so thankful, God, because he is not the type of person I want to raise Marcel's with, have more kids with. He is not the type of person I trust. He's not the type of person I ever want in my life. Thank you to the universe for the lessons, because ultimately you attract exactly who you are. So I attracted him in how I was actually viewing myself. And it makes me sad that even after, oh my God, even after all that healing, I still saw myself unworthy. I guess what hurts the most is he doesn't have any remorse. He genuinely doesn't care. That has nothing to do with me. It's not a reflection of me. It's just a reflection of himself. So I'm not going to take it personally, even though for a while it felt so personal. I believe karma. I really do believe in that. And how he treated me, how he left the situation, and how he is continuing to move and bash me in any capacity to anyone. Well, really, even in these videos, I have been graceful, is ultimately you're showing God who you are. You're showing everyone who you are. And it's not up to me to do anything to you. I'm going to let God handle that. And I think your life is already starting to reflect that God got me.
Absolutely. Like, that's so true. Like, you did nothing wrong to him. It's not fair to you that he would then become so nasty because you ultimately remained exactly who you are and tried to encourage him to be the best version of himself. And because he is not able to do the work to really accept himself for who he is, he deflects that onto you as being the problem, when in fact you are ultimately trying to make him step fully into his own power. But somehow he resents you for that? There's something very fucking screwed up there. And the fact that he couldn't just bow out gracefully, Gabby, I'm truly sorry. If I hurt you by ending this through text message, or you felt like I was insensitive towards your son, I really apologize. I just don't think you and I connect in that way, or I don't want to progress things further because I'm dealing with some personal things, or I just felt like we weren't moving in the same direction. But I truly do appreciate all that you have done, all the hospitality that you showed me, all the gifts and kind gestures that you made towards me. And I never meant to hurt you. I hope we can move forward and just be friends, or at the very least not hate each other. Like, what was so fucking hard about that? How can you be so nasty towards someone who literally didn't do anything to hurt you?
I really hope he can become the man he pretends to be someday, so he can genuinely align with a real woman of God. And that's all I have to say. That's the conclusion of this video.